Hello, the class 901 Ms. Chitta, and welcome to my presentation about the Philippines. Table of contents. This presentation I'm going to be talking about the location of the Philippines, the climate of the Philippines, UN Global Goals section, Life Below Water Goal 14, the Have the Life Below Water Goals Been Met section, and natural resources which are found in the Philippines. Location of the Philippines. The Philippines is located in Southeastern Asia, under China and Taiwan, and right beside Indonesia. It is a peninsula as it is not landlocked and no countries are placed right beside it. There are 7,600 islands scattered in the Pacific Ocean, and it has a total area of 300,000 kilometers square. The seas which are not right next to it, of course, is the Pacific Ocean, which includes the South China Sea, Philippine Sea, the Sufu Sea, and the Celebes Sea. Its terrain is mountainous, it has many forests, and is made up of several volcanoes. Climate of the Philippines. The Philippines has a tropical climate with certain temperature throughout the year as it is right near the equatorial line. It also has high humidity and abundant rainfall, which are very common to tropical climates. When you look at the right side of the presentation, you can see the Köppen-Geiger climate classification map for the Philippines 1980 to 2016. The dark blue, blue, and light blue are all tropical rainforest, tropical monsoon, and tropical savanna. The green parts, which are above and below the map, are a temperate dry winter, hot summer temperature, and temperate temperature in the dry season but warm summer. Climate of the Philippines. The Philippines has a steady temperature with 25 to 29 degrees Celsius throughout the year. Its average temperature in the year is 27.6 degrees Celsius with an annual precipitation of 3,000 millimeters. When you look at the climate graph at the right side of the screen, you can see that there's a lot of rain, which indicates that it is a tropical climate, and the steady temperature which is throughout the year, highest temperature in May, June, but steady temperature besides during the year also suggests that it is near the equatorial line. UN Global Goals Life Below Water section. The first global goal that I chose from Life Below Water is reduce and prevent marine pollution by 2025. I chose this goal because the Philippines is the third largest contributor to ocean plastic in the world, with poverty and they were not being able to recycle their products. The second goal that I chose is regulate harvesting and overfishing and illegal, unreported, and unregulated kinds of fishing by 2020. There are many people who caught fish using explosives and the use of noxious or poisonous substances, which destroyed the fish habitat and added many fish to the endangered list in the world and in the Philippine habitat. To minimize and address impacts of ocean acidification is the third goal that I chose from Life Below Water UN Global Goals. As the United Nations Environmental Program founded in Kenya in 1972 reported that 97% of reefs in the Philippines are under threat from destructive fishing techniques. Have life below water goals been met? Life below water goals have mostly not been met, as Philippines is a big country, but with such a large population, there's poverty rising across it. The first goal from Reduce and Prevent Early Pollution in 2025, they're not close to reaching the target as many live in poverty and are not able to recycle products. And by this rate, if they will continue using products and not recycling, it will take them dozens of years to even be able or close to recycling their products. Second goal of regulate harvesting and end overfishing, only leaving unreported and unregulated kinds of fishing by 2020. They made it unlawful to do so by Filipino Republic Act 10654, and to minimize and address impossible notification, that is goal 3 that I chose. The issue has now been addressed, and under the Annual Fishing and all illegal kinds of fishing act of the Philippine Republic Act 10654, which was mentioned above before. Natural resources which are found in the Philippines. The Philippines has many valuable resources which they can use as in mining. The first natural resource that is found in the Philippines is of course water, as it is a peninsula, and water is of course found all around the Philippines. Also, there are some lakes in the Philippines where water can be found. Ore. Volcanoes bring ore to surface in the Philippines, as there are over 100 volcanoes which are currently scattered across the Philippines. Nickel is found in metal-rich asteroids, and iron is found in rocks that formed 1.8 billion years ago. Copper is found in volcanic regions from hot sulfur solutions. Default is found in ocean lime in the Philippines, and petroleum is found using fossils which were under intense heat and pressure for millions of years. When you look at the right side of the screen, you can see the location map of operating mines in the Philippines. There are also gold and silver and chromite mines in the Philippines, but they're very small and make a very tiny part of the mining community and the economy. So I decided that they weren't important to add them to the list. All the others, the most common one is nickel, as it is found all around the Philippines, but very commonly at the bottom island of the Philippines. Is a very useful one, which they use for export and earn a lot of money. Brings in a lot of money for the economy. Hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope I taught you something about the Philippines. Have a nice day.